what we found out now through like all of these years of like kind of R&D, only about 20 to 30% of the total amount of people who sell to an investor actually have like a big distressor that you would think of whenever I say list stacking. So that's basically saying 70% of the people just have a free and clear or a high equity paired with like an absentee list. And most people just don't even reach out to them. And you need AI to be able to discern, like, there's a lot more that goes into it besides just like distress flags.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is based in Knoxville, Tennessee, and works with DataFlik and REISift, combining AI data-driven marketing CRM tools to help investors analyze, acquire, and more effectively market. Please welcome Ty Garrett. Ty, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Excited to get going.
Absolutely. I always like to start off at the top, Ty, by asking folks, how did you personally get involved or introduced to the real estate space?
Yeah. So back in like 2017, 2018, I don't know how long you've been in the game personally, but I got really into fortune builders. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they were like one of
I've
the
not.
OG educational companies. But we got into fortune builders and realized like, oh wow, we don't really know much about anything as far as real estate goes. And you needed a lot of money at the time, we thought, to really run the business. So about a year and a half into that, so we're like right at that 2018, 2019 mark, we actually joined a really big wholesaling company in the Midwest in Columbus, Ohio. And we joined them. We're there for about a year, learned so much so fast. And right at about 2020, we're like, hey, we think we want to do this ourselves, but we're going to go back to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is where I'm from, and the other co-founder of DataFlik. And from there, we pretty much realized very, very quickly that like there was a huge marketing problem because we were trying to do all this ourselves and like structure it like, exactly how we learned at this other company. And that was kind of the birth of DataFlik. So we started to build our own like data systems, our own databases, scraping a lot of data. And then we were like, hey, we know that you guys are also like needing data. A couple friends of ours, they use it, they loved it, and that was kind of like the birth. So basically a year and a half of R&D till right at about the end of 2021, 2022. That was when we completely fully launched DataFlik at an event. And that was where we also had a lot of our AI models come in, kind of like the earlier versions of them. Fast forward to today, we obviously have like 1,000 plus users on the platform, and we also just acquired REISift. Originally, we were just DataFlik, and in the past like couple months, we acquired REISift, merged it in. We plan to rebrand to DataSift in the next few months, just to kind of consolidate them. And the entire goal and like thesis of what we're trying to do now is like was like all we did for 5 years. And we felt like that was a very, very small part of the process, maybe like 10, 15% of like the entire journey of having a successful business. And we really wanted to plug in REISift to make it where we cover 10% of it. Like, how can we cover it from the day that we get raw information to the day it's a closed deal? And yeah, that's what we're moving towards.
So the AI space is an interesting and ever developing space. In 2021, I was not involved in real estate.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
At all. It was a dream, really, and I was trying to figure out how to be. And I remember someone had showed me, and it was ChatGPT, I believe, at the time. I was just like, well, that's cool. You know, is that like an app? Like what does it do? Like you can talk to it? That's neat. And then fast forward today, and it's like basically changed my life. And anybody who is in real estate who's adopting AI is able to see just how unbelievably more organized you can be. And that's just cutting, like, that's the sliver of the surface. You know what I mean? It's not even, we're not even peeling back the first layer, it doesn't feel like. It's really, I'm almost grasping at straws and for words because we're just right there and there's so much more that you can kind of see and envision. To give you an example that you're probably familiar with, Ty, I don't know how many months ago it was that you couldn't generate images with words.
Yeah.
But now you can.
And now you can, and like Google and ChatGPT, like our Gemini and ChatGPT, like they have come so far. And they're like, I mean, I remember when it first came out, and you would just ask, like, you know, write me a poem or something like that, and that would be like kind of the use case, like, oh, this is cool. And now it's like, can you do this like McKinsey level consulting deep research prompt, and then make me like all these graphs and all of these like marketing images? It's incredible. It's incredible.
There's two applications. I'm not going to say the names of them because I actually want to keep them inside the vest because they're so useful to me. But they've changed the way that I think about marketing, changed the way that I think about time management, changed the way that I think about budgeting and cash flow. And it is just so remarkable. And in your business, when you started it, did you know from the beginning that AI was going to have a huge play in your business?
You know, I'd love to say like I had all this incredible foresight and I was like brilliant, but no, not at all. When we first like started it, we were like, there has to be like a better way to do this. Cause like whenever we first started DataFlik, this is at the time where it was like really batch and like PropStream were like the only kind of like data marketing tools that you had for investors from a data perspective, right? And there was not really a way to like prioritize like the people that you're reaching out to. And the only way you could do it is like taking a list and like list stacking them in a software. And it's like, if there are more lists attached to this, like you do that marketing first. But what we found out now through like all of these years of like kind of R&D, only about 20 to 30% of the total amount of people who sell to an investor actually have like a big distressor that you would think of whenever I say list stacking. So that's basically saying 70% of the people just have a free and clear or a high equity paired with like an absentee list. And most people just don't even reach out to them. And you need AI to be able to discern, like there's a lot more that goes into it besides just like distress flags. So the whole reason we started it was like almost kind of betting on the future indirectly, where we're like, you have to be able to like do this in a better way. And I'm sure technology is going to catch up with it. And really like the difference in like version 1 of our model compared to like now, all the technology that's like available is just like laughable to be. Like if you're like a user,
right?
Yeah, like if you were someone who used DataFlik in like 21 and that's the only impression of us, like I'm so sorry in comparison to like what it is now.
Yeah.
Like I think AI is like a huge thing too with like what makes AI really stand out for companies that use it heavily. There's like kind of the folks who do like AI wrappers. So think about like a tool that does copywriting that you could probably do in ChatGPT. And then what makes them unique is like you have a unique, systematic, very beautiful processor workflow. And then the other element is like your data and like, is it unique?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And like, does it have access to things that ChatGPT would not?
Exactly.
Those are the two things. When you blend them together, that's what makes like these incredible processes. And that's what we're trying to do, because obviously we're a data company and we have a lot of infrastructure with SIFT now.
I've seen a lot of AI companies that look like they are just white labeled ChatGPT, and even the way that they're laid out, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, no, this is our own thing." I'm not going to say any names, but I know some of them, and it's basically just the same. And I have others that are doing something totally different. And then I have others that will utilize ChatGPT and be very upfront about that. Hey, this is ChatGPT, but this is in a way that you cannot get through the application itself. We're doing something different.
Correct.
And then,
Yes.
then there's people who are doing something totally on their own, like outside of the realm of it completely. And that's super hard. Like, that's impressive. Like, you're at that point almost competing with ChatGPT in some ways, because then they're going to say, hey, this thing can generate X, Y, and Z. We need to go ahead and do that. Like, there was actually within ChatGPT here recently, there was another platform that was generating images, and then it would direct you to it. And I don't know if Chat bought it out or if it integrated with it, but now it just said, oh yeah, we no longer use, or it no longer points to that. You can just do it directly. And this was not that long ago. It was like a handful of months, and then a couple months later, it's gone.
Yeah, it makes it's crazy. Do you know a company called Perplexity? Have you ever heard of them?
I have not, but I'm sure I'll find it now. Now that our phones are listening to us, it'll pop up in my stream.
Yeah, now that we've said it, they're basically like a search engine that is just powered by like ChatGPT or Gemini or kind of all these companies that license or let you use their models through an API. And that's like a good example of like, yes, it's kind of a wrapper, but like it just feels better to use Perplexity in comparison to like ChatGPT for like the internet or like Google
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's interesting to see how like companies like use the different pieces of it.
I want to pivot a bit here, Ty, and ask you about working with investors. Investors can be, I'd say, more open-minded, and we were talking about this before hopping onto the podcast here, kind of investors versus realtors and kind of the applications for data and AI within both spaces. It's almost,
Yep.
I was saying my take on it is it's almost the opposite types of perspective. Investors want to be the only one using something. They may want some proof of concept, but they don't want everyone to know about this thing that they're using. And then realtors, I feel like, are the opposite. They kind of want to feel like, hey, who else is using it? That way I know that I'm not the only one standing out here on a ledge. And I'm curious, as someone running a sales organization, in addition, the sales arm of it, how do you feel working with investors and scaling a company in that space? And what were kind of the pivot points along the way for you?
So we kind of felt like, well, one, we were like in the investing space like first. So that is like the pivotal point of like, it makes sense to start here because we just know more about it. But the big reason that it's easier for investors to like do this kind of marketing, and just in my opinion, is like the spreads and like the upside of what they can generate from a revenue perspective is far wider whenever you're talking about like the return on ad spend for a marketing campaign. Now, on the flip side of this, like when you're talking about like it not being as transactional for the realtor side, it's like you have that network effect and that brand that can really be built on it. So like a lot of the marketing that you would use for data for realtors is like everything that would compound and build on that brand. So like the most common example would be taking like data and doing a ton of marketing into a farm, so or like a community-owned area and saturating the people that are the most likely to sell. And if you get a listing there, now you tell everyone, hey, your neighbor's selling, you also want to sell, but they have that higher intent to sell just based on our data. And on the opposite side, for like investors, it's very, very transactional in nature. And this marketing works because the potential upside that they have is so much bigger on like a 50K flip.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
You know, they could pay 10 grand in marketing to acquire that because it makes sense from a monetary perspective. So like the marketing is like very, very different in like how you approach that.
It's a totally different world. It feels like. It's funny because it's in the same kind of ballpark, but it feels like two totally different worlds. I want to ask you, kind of get a little bit granular, but don't give away all the gold necessarily, Ty. In scaling the business, you mentioned large user base right now and where you're trying to get to before hopping onto the podcast here. For people who may be starting out in a tech or software application and they're trying to get their first 10, 20, 50 users, what was your process like for that, and what would you recommend to other folks?
So we're in a unique place as far as like the sector, right? So like I'm talking about like the real estate, the REI sector or real estate industry in totality. And I've talked a lot about this to other people kind of in like the SaaS world, but we're in a sector where affiliates and educational companies like partnerships are very prominent because if there are so many educators like in our sector. So that's how we started. So we went to like all of really big companies at the time, and we were like, hey, we know you have this huge audience. Like, what do you guys want? Like, what do you hate? And we really didn't have like an incredible product at this point. This is like 2021, 2020. And we worked with a lot of people who essentially like needed our service, but it maybe wasn't as good as our competitors. But the big thing that we could offer is like a level of support that our competitors would never give. So an example would be like, we're going to give you this data product, but like if you guys need any help in setting it up, using it, optimizing it, finding the bottlenecks in your marketing, like call me, like call the founder, and I will like hand in hand help you at like 2 a.m. And that's a very, very powerful pitch when you're kind of pitching against like the giants in the space, because most people are willing to do that. So like we did that and we're bootstrapped because of it. And once we got a lot more, a lot of traction that way, we hit a very, very, very hard ceiling of like, hey, we no longer can like support this. And that's when we started to invest more in product and started to hire people and just build it from there. But that's kind of like the bootstrapping hack that we had, where we didn't need to like scale this huge ad spend on like, marketing dollars. So we just partnered with people that already had the existing audience, which would be affiliate marketing in this case. And not every industry is going to have that, but there's a lot more now because the like educational space, like across all industries, has grown so much over the years. I would do that because you're going to get really good feedback loops on like, hey, these people, like their students or like their audience is saying we need this thing, and you build that thing next, and just do that until it scales up.
Ty, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go if maybe they're in the Knoxville area, or if they are potentially looking at some of these types of solutions and would like to reach out to you or get in contact with you, maybe be the next user for DataFlik and REISift?
Yeah, you can just go to, we'll put a link in the chat, but it is, or not the chat, but like the description, I would say.
Yeah.
And you can just go and schedule a demo or watch any of our free resources on YouTube or any of that stuff.
Ty, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Of course, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.